Do you know about AMD FSR 3 and its potential to revolutionize console gaming? Let's dive into this intriguing topic. AMD FSR 3, or Fidelity FX Super Resolution, is a new kid on the gaming block. Released recently on PC, this technology has been turning heads with its impressive performance boosts. In games like Square Enix's Forspoken and EA's Immortals of Aveum, FSR 3 has shown it can take gaming to a whole new level. But what makes FSR 3 so special? It's all about frames per second, or FPS. AMD recommends a minimum frame rate of 60 FPS for FSR 3, with a boost to a whopping 120 FPS. When it comes to gaming, high frame rates mean smooth gameplay and stunning graphics, and FSR 3 delivers just that. Now I hear you asking, what about us console gamers? Well, you're in luck. AMD has announced support for consoles, and developers are already working on implementing FSR 3. Ascendant Studios, the developer behind Immortals of Aveum, is one of the pioneers leading the charge. The potential here is enormous, with FSR 3 promising to unlock new levels of performance on consoles. However, not all is smooth sailing. Games limited to 30 FPS may not benefit as much from FSR 3, and there could be technical challenges implementing it, especially on PlayStation 5. The PS5 uses a DX12-based replacement swap chain, which unfortunately does not work asynchronously. There is an alternative option with the Unreal Engine 5 plugin, but it may have inferior performance. However, this doesn't mean the game is lost. In fact, Xbox might just have an advantage in implementing FSR 3 on consoles. It's a fascinating race, and we're excited to see how it unfolds. But what about its comparison to Nvidia's DLSS 3? Let's delve into that next. So how does AMD FSR 3 stack up against Nvidia's DLSS 3? Well, when we put these two heavyweights in the ring, it's quite the spectacle. Let's start off with the good news for Team AMD. In a head-to-head showdown, AMD FSR 3 has shown that it can outperform Nvidia's DLSS 3. This was evident in the performance boosts seen in games like Square Enix's Forspoken and EA's Immortals of Aveum. This is a significant win for AMD, and it's making console players sit up and take notice. But here's the thing, it's not all smooth sailing. While AMD FSR 3 came out swinging, it also showed a tendency to stutter more than Nvidia's DLSS 3. This can be a sticking point for gamers who value smooth and uninterrupted gameplay. Stuttering can pull you right out of the gaming experience, and that's something no one wants. When it comes to the console scene, AMD's FSR 3 has announced its plans to enter the arena. Developers like Ascendant Studios are already working on implementing FSR 3 into their console games. This could potentially unlock a whole new level of performance. Imagine playing your favorite console games with a minimum frame rate of 60 frames per second and a boost up to a whopping 120 frames per second. That's the kind of performance we're talking about here. However, as we've mentioned, it's not without its challenges. Games limited to 30 frames per second may not play well with AMD FSR 3. And if you're a PlayStation 5 owner, there are technical hurdles to overcome. The PS5 uses a DX12-based replacement swap chain that doesn't work asynchronously, which could pose problems for FSR 3 implementation. An alternative is the Unreal Engine 5 plugin, but it delivers inferior performance compared to the DX12-based method. While it seems AMD FSR 3 has the upper hand in some respects, it's not without its challenges. What are the potential hurdles when implementing AMD FSR 3 on consoles? Now, it's not all smooth sailing for AMD FSR 3 when it comes to console implementation. There are a few technical challenges that might cause a bit of a hiccup. For starters, AMD FSR 3 works best when it's being used with games that have a minimum frame rate of 60 frames per second. It can even boost the performance to a whopping 120 frames per second. But here's the catch. Games that are limited to 30 frames per second might not get along so well with FSR 3. So, if your favorite console game is locked at 30 frames per second, the benefits of FSR 3 might not be as significant. Now, let's talk about the PlayStation 5, which seems to have a unique set of challenges. The PS5 uses a DX12-based replacement swap chain, and here's the thing about that. It doesn't work asynchronously. In simpler terms, it means that the PS5 might have a tough time keeping things smooth and stutter-free when running games with FSR 3. This could potentially limit the performance boost that FSR 3 aims to provide. But that's not to say there aren't potential solutions in sight. For instance, there's the Unreal Engine 5 plugin, which could offer a workaround. However, it's important to note that this alternative option might not deliver the same level of performance as the original DX12-based replacement swap chain. It's sort of a trade-off, you could say. Furthermore, it seems that the Xbox might have a bit of an advantage when it comes to implementing FSR 3. The architecture of the Xbox might be more compatible with FSR 3, and this could potentially allow for a smoother and more efficient implementation. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are potential workarounds. While there are challenges, there are also potential solutions on the horizon. As we delve into the realm of potential workarounds, we find ourselves face to face with the Unreal Engine 5 plugin. This platform can serve as an alternative option for implementing AMD FSR 3, even though its performance might not be as stellar as we would like it to be. The Unreal Engine 5 plugin has the capability to provide a solution to the stumbling blocks that PlayStation 5 might face with the DX12-based replacement swap chain. However, this workaround comes with its own set of caveats. The primary one being that the performance provided by this plugin might not live up to the standards set by AMD FSR 3. Yet it's worth noting that even an inferior performance boost could potentially enhance the gaming experience on consoles, particularly for those games currently limited to 30 frames per second. Now, let's shift our focus onto Xbox. This console might just have an upper hand when it comes to implementing AMD FSR 3. Xbox consoles, with their unique architecture and compatibility, could potentially unlock new performance levels with the integration of AMD FSR 3. This could result in smoother gameplay with fewer stutters and hitches, all while maintaining a high frame rate. This advantage could tip the scales in Xbox's favor, making it a more attractive option for gamers seeking the best performance on their consoles. It's evident that while there are hurdles to overcome, the game industry is not short on innovative solutions. Developers and hardware manufacturers alike are constantly working to push the boundaries of what's possible to deliver a gaming experience that's nothing short of extraordinary. So, what does all this mean for the future of console gaming? As we see it, it's a future filled with potential, where the lines between PC and console gaming continue to blur, and where gamers, regardless of their platform of choice, can enjoy an elevated, immersive experience. The arrival of AMD FSR 3 on consoles could be a game changer, but it's not without its complications. This sums up our journey so far, as we've traversed the intricate landscape of AMD FSR 3, from understanding its prowess to dissecting its face-off with NVIDIA's DLSS 3 and delving into the challenges it presents. We've come a long way. The potential benefits of AMD FSR 3 on consoles are immense. Console gamers could experience a significant performance boost, with games running at a minimum frame rate of 60 frames per second, and even soaring up to 120 frames per second. This could potentially unlock new performance levels, delivering a smoother and more immersive gaming experience. But as we've learned, it's not all smooth sailing. The introduction of AMD FSR 3 on consoles also presents some technical hurdles. Particularly, PlayStation 5 could face some challenges due to its use of a DX12-based replacement swap chain that does not function asynchronously. This could potentially lead to a stuttering gaming experience, which is far from ideal for console gamers. Nevertheless, there are possible solutions and workarounds in sight. The Unreal Engine 5 plugin, for instance, offers an alternative option, albeit with slightly inferior performance. And it seems that Xbox may have a bit of an advantage when it comes to implementing AMD FSR 3 on consoles. So what does this mean for console gaming, and what can players expect? Well, if successfully implemented, AMD FSR 3 could revolutionize the console gaming experience. It could lead to smoother gameplay, higher frame rates, and overall, a more immersive and enjoyable gaming experience. But it's also important to keep in mind the potential challenges and limitations. Only time will tell how AMD FSR 3 will reshape the gaming landscape. Stay tuned for more updates on this exciting development.